Welcome to another video, guys. Today we're going to be talking about the new fusion that is coming to raid on June 4th, and if he's going to be worth getting, skipping, how much will he cost you, what kind of abilities does he have, and can he be used to finally get yourself a Wixwell or a Titus or a Newt with your tokens. Spoiler alert, you can't. It's a goddamn Fragment summon again. Good job, raid. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you do, a like and subscribe would be appreciated, and don't forget to check me out live on stream each Tuesday and Thursday, where I do free account takeovers for my viewers. If you want to support the channel for free, you can download raid through my premium download link and start raid the right way with 4 amazing champions, and you're also gonna have 48 hours to use the promo code section for an extra Lego. And don't forget, we do have the login reward Skeletor now, so that would be free legendaries in your first frickin' week. But now, let's get into the video. So here we have it, Folan Silverheart, and I gotta say, this guy kinda strikes me as a reskinned Loki if I gotta be honest, but it is what it is. Let's read the Discord message first. Next Thursday, June 4th, we're planning to launch a champion fragment event of a new champion, Folan Silverheart. He's gonna be from Sylvan Watchers, attack type, spirit affinity, and Folan Silverheart is a damage-focused champion designed for both PvP and PvE content. He relies on his fellow Sylvan Watchers allies for additional survivability, while his multi-hit ability makes him especially effective in the current PvP meta. His kit revolves around debuff synergy. He places decreased defense and block passive skills debuffs, spreads them across the enemy team, and deals increased damage to debuff targets. To further reinforce his offensive pressure, he can also ignore block damage and unkillable buffs to deliver devastating blows to the opponents. Okay, so that's about it for the message, and here's what the champion looks like. We already showed it, but now let's get into detail, maybe even zoom in a little so we can actually read the skills nice and easily, especially if you're on a small screen. And here we have the A1, Puncture Wounds. Attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit has a 30% chance, books to 50, of increasing the duration of a random debuff on the target by 1 turn. That's actually kind of cool. Would be pretty useful on PvE content more than anything else, especially against single target boss like Demon Lord, like Chimera, that kind of stuff could be worth. And it is a multi-hit, so if we're talking about things like PvP, like Live Arena, Classic, that kind of stuff, with all the Mercurial out there, this would be kinda useful. His second ability, the A2, Bind and Break. Books to a 3-turn cooldown, attacks all enemy 2 times, deals 10 more damage to each enemy for each debuff on them, will ignore unkillable and block damage buffs. That's actually pretty strong. We do have quite a few unkillable and block damage champions in the game right now, especially for PvP more than anything else. So having yourself an AoE that ignores both unkillable and block damage pretty strong, and you will be able to actually counter a lot of pesky top meta champions like this, so kinda worth it, even though for me I don't plan on using him for PvP, that's for sure. We also have the A3, a Sun's Wrath, attacks one enemy 2 times. The first hit has a 75 chance of placing 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. The second hit has 75 chance of block passive skills, both of these book out 100 by the way, and then applies debuff spread effect, taking all debuffs from the target and placing them on all enemies. Finally attacks all enemies 1 time. This attack will ignore 20% of each target's defense. All around, definitely not bad. It is a single target that finally moves to AoE, which ignores 20% defense. Definitely sounds strong to me for wave-based content. For PvP, it could be pretty worth it, that kind of stuff. And blocking passive skills can also be pretty massive. Not to mention bringing the decreased defense, definitely is going to be tenderizing a lot of enemies that way. We even have a passive here, Malignant Might. For each Sylvan Watcher ally on the team, including this champion receives 10% less damage from AoE attacks, and ignore defense effects against this champion are 10% less effective. Whenever this champion attacks, has a 30% chance to turn weak hits into normal hits. This chance increases by 10% for each debuff on the target. Again, sounds absolutely huge for things like Chimera, where sometimes the affinity is not going to be super good for you, but against Chimera, it's always going to have like a ton of debuffs on it if you brought yourself a good team. So this would be kind of effective, even though, again, I don't expect this guy to be a top tier damage dealer over there. It's definitely not gonna out damage some of the other better damage dealers, but definitely sounds like a decent champion for early to mid game players for the most part. I have been seeing a lot of people thinking that they are gonna be skipping this champion in order to finally use their fusion tokens, but sadly Raid pulled a fast one on us, guys. Like, they literally gave us 2 back-to-back fragment summons, and as you guys already saw, Masahiro did not give us a fusion token, neither will this guy. guy, and neither will we be actually able to swap this guy in order to get ourselves finally a champion from the fusion pool. This is kind of scummy, not gonna lie. Like, a lot of people have been begging for a dud fusion finally so they can actually choose one of the champions from the past, be it Wixwell, be it Fabian, be it Titus, that kind of stuff, Newt, all of that good stuff, but no, Raid decided to really chain together two L's in a row. First one was the He-Man collab, and now this. Kind of sucky, but it is what it is, I guess. I don't know. Guess one more month and we're finally gonna be able to use the fusions. Surely they're not gonna give us free fragment summon events, huh? Surely that's not gonna be the case. Anyway, that's about it for the champion. Now let's take a quick gander of what we could be expecting in terms of costs for how much this guy's gonna cost us. And here it is. Literally, we could be using the Masahiro fragment event calendar because that just ended. And here's how that one went. We did have ourselves a Summon Rush event. We did have ourselves a Champion Chase tournament. So you could be expecting something along the lines of about 10 Sacred Shards should be enough for you to be making sure you're gonna have enough shards for the fusion. The rest of it is basically gonna come down to energy, gems, and silver, and not that many of it either. Like, as long as you're playing the game on a daily basis, as long as you're doing yourself things like Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare clan bosses, you should have no problem finishing any fusion nowadays, honestly. As long as you're smart about it and double dip, triple dip in all of the options you could be having, and that should be getting you any fusion you actually put your mind to. As you guys know, it usually is going to be giving us about 115 fragments available, so this means you could be skipping one of the champion chases or summon rush events, or you could be skipping a few of the smaller fragment events like the gear hunters, that kind of stuff. So all around, you should be expecting something along the lines of 45 million silver, which you don't have to have like literally right now. You could just gradually farm it while doing all the spider tournament, dragon tournament, fire tournament, ice golem. Usually we get one of each, and most of the time those take something along the lines of 2000 energy each. We are gonna have ourselves a couple of arena tournaments, usually free gear enhancement events, for which that's where the 45 mil silver is gonna go into, and that's really about it. It really doesn't cost you that much usually, as long as you have something along the lines of, let's say, 25 million silver, 1000 gems, and about 10 sacred shards. That should be more than enough to finish any fusion event nowadays, so I wouldn't expect something to be changing about this one. So yeah, all around, I do believe that Folan is gonna be helpful for a lot of people, especially for faction wars, because you don't have that many good faction war champions from the Sylvan Watchers when we're talking about damage dealing. I myself definitely have quite a few of the big boys when it comes down to Sylvan Watchers. Like, I do have Calolite, which is definitely a pretty good wave destroyer. I even have myself Baller, which I'm not really using when it comes down to faction wars nowadays. Same can be said for Aileal, by the way. Like, he is a decent champion after the buff, and he is definitely decent in things like PvP nowadays, but the fact of the matter is there's just simply not that many good Sylvan Watcher legendary nukers, at least. Nowadays they did release some bigger, better ones, like right now Vestel is actually pretty solid indeed, top tier I might add, but for the most part we don't really have that many really good accessible Silver Watcher damage dealers, so I do believe this guy should be helpful for most people. So yeah guys, do let me know in the comments if you guys are going to be going for this guy. Again, do not think you can skip this guy in order to finally get yourself a fusion champion from the past. Sadly, Raid did us dirty with this one. But yeah, drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you found the video helpful. Don't forget to check me out live on stream each Tuesday and Thursday, where I do free account takeovers for my viewers. And if you want to support the channel for free, download the game from my premium download link and start Raid the right way. Thanks for watching guys, I'm Chris05, and I'll see you in my next video or stream.